Yo, what's up fanbase? It's your boy Blaze Hollow coming at you again with another what if. This time I have a special trailer. This is video 2 out of 5 of the special request from my friends. For all of you who don't know, my editor Ed and my close friend Kirisho and I occasionally have a fun little drinking contest when we watch anime. And I lost to the both of them, so this is the second trailer request out of 5 I will happily do for everybody. So let me welcome to you What If Deku Was Isekaid. So let's start that intro and get into it.
I honestly don't think you can become a hero.
It was the first day of UA. Izuku was sitting right behind Bakugo. There was already so much tension inside of the room. Knowing that he was so close to his old bully, a bunch of new faces he still had to get used to, but also trying to get better control of his quirk. There was so much for him to worry about until a bright light appeared below him. As he stood up, pushing his seat back, he looked down to see a magic circle below him. What is happening? You have been chosen. Bakugo got annoyed when he felt the desk behind him bump into his seat as he quickly stood up and grabbed Deku by the shirt. I'm already in a bad mood because of you being here. Do you really want to provoke me, Deku? Before the threat could be finished, both of them fell through the magic circle, and within a bright flash they were in a completely different place altogether. When they looked around, they noticed they weren't the only ones here. There were some of the other students from their classroom. Bakugo got even more annoyed and started shaking Deku from his shirt back and forth. You damn nerd, what did you do? Why aren't we at UA? I don't know. I'm just as confused as you. Can you please stop shaking me? That's when a redhead walks in between the both of them and separates them. Bro, chill. We're all confused as you are. Doesn't mean you get to take it out on him. I agree. You need to calm down. That's when the three boys turned their head to see a girl that seemed to be in their class from earlier with black hair and a lovely figure. Why don't we all calm down and maybe give each other our name and try to see where we are? I'll start. Just before she could introduce herself, a loud coughing could be heard, which got all 8 figures to look in that direction, as they could see a bunch of knights in armor, and 2 figures seemed to be standing in the center of all of them. One seemed to be a young princess, the other one was an old king who seemed to be battle-scarred. My deepest apologies to all of you. We only intended to summon 4, but it seems something had happened. Our world is in great danger, and we need the help of the chosen heroes to help fight back the hordes of vampires and monsters that bump in the night. No way. It can't be. That's when a short boy with purple light balls for hair seemed to be stepping forward, almost like he was shaking, either out of fear or excitement. It was hard to tell, especially with his weird face. This is the thing that most men dream about. We have been Isekaid. The king raised an eyebrow, not knowing what the boy was talking about, as he felt like it was appropriate for him to step right in front of his daughter to protect her. I don't know what that means, but you have been summoned to our world to help us fight back evil. We would be eternally grateful if you'd be willing to help us. As he took a moment to look at the group of 8, he tried to think about the situation when something finally came to his mind. Oh, great heroes, it seems that you have brought squires with you. Even though we do not know which is which, there is one way for us to tell, but we will have to get to that in time. So please, can I get forget all of your names. The girl from earlier stepped forward. I am Momo Yayurozu. A blonde with a black lightning bolt in his hair stepped forward next. I'm Denki Kaminari. The redhead from earlier stepped up as he proudly pounded on his chest with one of his hands. I am Adrio Kirishima. It's an honor to meet you, Your Majesty. A boy with white and red hair and a burn scar on his face stepped forward next. I am Shoto Todoroki, and I have a question for you, sir. The king raised an eyebrow curiously. What is your question, young man? I don't mean to be rude, but we are trying to do introductions here. Where exactly are we? Oh, right. Technically, you wouldn't know about our kingdom. You have been summoned to the Typhoon Kingdom. I will explain more about it after introductions. Are we in a completely different world away from our own with no way back? The king had a grim look on his face, hoping that none of the chosen candidates would ask that so soon. Unfortunately, that is true. It's a one-way trip when we summon heroes to our world. I'm sorry if that bothers you, young man. Todoroki just looked up at the ceiling of the room, which was made out of smooth stone bricks, but instead of feeling uneasy or aggravated, he felt relieved. As he smiled, feeling like some kind of invisible weight was no longer keeping him down. It doesn't bother me. Thank you for answering my questions honestly. That's when another one of the boys, but this time with a bird-like head, stepped forward towards the king and bowed his head. My name is Fumikage Tokoyami. Bakugo had a cocky smirk on his face. I'm Katsuki Bakugo, soon to be the greatest hero you've ever known. The boy with purple orbs for hair stepped forward as he had a perverted look on his face as he was trying to look at the princess. I'm Minoru Mineta. I'm here to serve you, my wonderful princess. Izuku felt overwhelmed by everything. As he looked around, he tried to straighten back out his shirt as he bowed with respect. I'm Izuku Midoriya, and if there's anything we can do to help you, Your Majesty, please tell us. As they were being escorted by the king and his knights to a much more comfortable location, as they arrived to see a lavish table filled with different types of food and drink, and chairs that looked like they were truly meant for royalty. As everybody took their seats and the king was at the head of the table, he finally spoke up. Allow me to fully explain the situation that has brought you to our world. My nation, along with many others, have been on the back foot against vampires of various kinds, along with other demonic beasts. We almost thought hope would be lost when we came across an old ritual to summon heroes from another world that would be able to save us. But in hindsight, there was only supposed to be 4 of you. The fact that there's 8 means that there is only 4 true heroes and the others must be squires or unfortunate souls that got dragged here. As of the moment, we do not have a way to discern who is who, but nevertheless, you are all guests of this kingdom and shall be treated at the highest order. If there's any questions about the situation, please feel free to ask me. Mama was the first to speak up. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think you've given us your name yet, Your Majesty. The king thought about it for a second and felt embarrassed. Oh my, I'm very sorry. It's been a very eventful day. Allow me to introduce myself. I am King Ethan Typhoon, the monarch of the Typhoon Kingdom. I am very sorry for not introducing myself right away, Lady Momo. No need to be formal. Momo is fine, but my true question actually is, are you able to figure out which one of us are heroes and who are not? That way we would know our proper roles in this world. Actually, yes, your roles as heroes will be revealed depending on your familiar summon, but before that, the book did bring up something that should be happening for all of you. At that moment, a notification popped up in front of Izuku's eyes saying pick a unique skill. As he saw an entire page filled out with different names for different things, he didn't understand what he was looking at. As he tried to look away from the screen screen in front of him, he noticed that the others were going through the exact same thing, seeming to be looking around and pondering their decision. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but does anybody else see this digital-like screen in front of their eyes? Ethan and his fellow knights looked at the hero candidate like they were confused. Apparently, they couldn't see the screen, but as for the others, Kirishima was the first to speak up. Yeah, it's telling me to pick a unique skill. I think I see something that I want. As he held out his hand to click on something, only a second later did he get a big smile on his face. Cool, now I have a special skill called Dragon's Warcry. It said it allows me to intimidate my opponents with the strength of a dragon's roar, while also temporarily increasing my strength by 5%. Todoroki smiled as he tapped at something in the air. I just finished picking my unique skill as well. It's called God Song. Whenever I play a different type of music, it can give the people around me a different status effect temporarily. It could boost strength, speed, and even give them temporary immunity depending on the status effect. The better I play, the better the effects are for others. Denki felt overwhelmed by his choices that his brain felt like it was going to overload trying to pick something. Not knowing what to pick, he just clicked on something impulsively and hoped for the best. When he looked to see what he picked, he wasn't disappointed, but he didn't fully understand it either. Looks like I chose a skill called Sonar. It allows me to sense things within a 40 feet of myself by closing my eyes and sensing nearby living creatures. Not bad. Okoyami smiled when he found an interesting skill he liked. I truly am becoming one with the dark. I found a unique skill called Shadow Teleport. It allows me to teleport between nearby shadows. Mineta looked at everybody like he was confused but also annoyed. Wait, all of you have multiple choices? All I got was one choice, Vitality, which allows me to temporarily boost my stamina and strength for a small amount of time. Momo smiled when she found something that she truly loved. As she quickly clicked on the air, the skill started to harmonize with her. I chose the unique skill called Comprehend Language. It allows me to understand any form of language. Bakugo had a wicked grin on his face when he finally found something that suited him. I believe I got the best unique skill. It's called Weak Point. It allows me to find the weakness of any creature or people that I fight. The longer I fight them, the better I am at finding their weaknesses. As everybody was chatting about their new unique skill and how they can't wait to figure out how to use it, Ethan realized that only one person who hadn't brought up their unique skill was Izuku. As he turned to look at him, he was wondering if the boy was being shy about his abilities. Izuku, care to tell us what unique skill you chose? Oh, sorry, Your Majesty. I actually haven't picked one yet. I was going to sort through the list that I got first, and then maybe pick one if that's okay. Oh, of course, young man. I was just curious. Everybody else had picked so quickly, but do take your time. Remember, these skills will help you in the future, so no rush. I appreciate that. There's just so many to pick from. I don't know what will help me in the long run. Shut up, nerd. Stop acting like you got a bunch of good choices. Knowing you're just trying to hide your lame skill that you were given. That's not true. I just think this deserves a lot more thinking about instead of just picking something so quickly. Bakugo was about to get up from his seat to punch the living daylights out of Izuku, holding out his hand to do his normal intimidation. But instead of the explosions coming off of his hands, nothing was there, which surprised him. This caught the attention of everyone in the room, wondering if something was supposed to happen. What the hell? Why didn't my quirk activate? Where are my explosions? This quickly caught the attention of the others. Kirishima tried to harden his arm only for it not to happen. Momo tried to create something, but she couldn't feel the activation or anything being made. Johto tried to make some ice, but nothing happened. As the others tried to use their quirks, they realized they no longer had them. And everybody kinda started to freak out a little bit, realizing that their powers were gone. Izuku was sitting there with his head down, flexing his muscles within his hand, trying to think about something. It's true, I can't feel one for all, so after all this training, I still don't have any special abilities. Ethan cleared his throat, trying to get their attention. It seems with all of you coming here, the powers that you had in your previous world disappeared. But fear not, young hero candidates. The new skills that you were given by your system, along with the training that we'll be giving you, the potential here will have you be as strong as you were back home, if not even stronger. You just have to put in the work. Izuku actually felt a lot more comforted because if it was just going to be more physical training, that's what he's been doing for the past 10 months to get into UA. A little bit more wouldn't hurt, but that's when another thought came to his mind. Excuse me, your majesty, but you brought up something about familiar summoning earlier? That's right, the familiar summoning will help us narrow down who is supposed to be one of the 4 heroes. It won't give us a decisive answer, but it will help us figure it out. He then snapped his fingers as one of the court mages started to hand out a piece of paper to each one of them. These papers hold a summoning array. Whenever you feel like you're ready, find a spot that is comfortable for you and try to channel your own essence into the circle. The court mage will explain what that means while we're eating. Izuku looked at the paper with all these weird symbols all over it. Trying to focus on it actually made his head spin a little bit. But the other thing that caught his attention was the system was still trying to get him to pick a skill. He started to shake his head a little bit, trying to calm himself down. He tried to enjoy the lavish feast that the king prepared for all of them. Oh, there's magic in this world, along with so many other things that we didn't have back home. After the feast was done, the court mage explained the basics on how to channel magic. After he saw that everybody was capable of at least channeling a little bit, he left them to choose their own proper place to summon their familiar. At one point, Izuku found himself sitting underneath a tree overlooking the different types of skills that he could choose from, but he still couldn't decide. There were still so many different useful abilities. But that's when he saw a bunch of lights hit up into the sky, showing the similar array that's on the paper that he had. Looks like the others summoned their familiar while I'm still struggling to pick a skill. But that's when he noticed one skill that stood out among the rest of them. It was called Shop. Wait, this skill would give me a magic shop that allows me to buy items and grows as I level up, which means I could have access to things a lot easier the stronger I get. But since it's a store, I would probably need to make sure I keep money on me at all time. Not really seeing any other skill that caught his eye, he tapped on the shop skill, and once he did, his system automatically started updating itself, as it shows that he has access to a store. Upon opening it, he could see a tab for many different things, but the thing that really caught his eye is that he could buy stuff from back home. No way! So with this skill, I have access to things back home? That's crazy! Ethan walked past the area, seeing Izuku awestruck at something, tapping away at the air like there was something there. Wondering if the boy was having a mental breakdown, he decided to walk on over. Excuse me, Izuku, is everything okay? Izuku quickly snapped out of it as he looked up at the king. Oh, your majesty, sorry, were you saying something to me? Not really, my boy. I was just walking by and I saw you acting a little strange, so I wanted to make sure you were okay. Were you perhaps picking out your skill? It's said in the book that sometimes heroes would have weird habits when they're messing with certain things, tricks. I'm assuming that's what you were doing. Yes, Your Majesty, I did pick out a skill, but it's hard to explain. It gives me access to this magic shop, but I don't fully understand how it works yet. Plus, I don't technically have any money, so I couldn't test it out even if I wanted to. Oh, if money is the issue, he then reaches into his cloak and pulls out a gold coin and flicks it to the boy. See if this will buy you anything from your special shop. Izuku clumsily catches the coin before it hits the ground as he looks at his shop real quick, thinking that he could really go for something sweet right now. He then opens the food section of the shop to find a special item as he slides the coin into thin air as it disappears. A bright light flashes in front of him and the king as a medium-sized jar of jelly beans appears right in the middle of them. Wow, it actually worked. Ethan raised an eyebrow as he picked up the small jar that had a bunch of colorful beans inside of it. What exactly is this? I haven't seen such a magic item before. I wouldn't say they're a magic item, sir, but I would love to question you on that later. But there's something from my world. They're called jelly beans and they have different tastes depending on the color. Ethan was curious about the little treat, opening up the jar and pulling out a brown jelly bean. As he put it into his mouth and enjoyed it, he could feel some kind of syrup-like texture and a fizzing sensation. Oh my, that was tasty. What is it? It felt all bubbly, but it also sweet, almost like you could drink it, but it was just too thick to be called a liquid. Oh, you must have gotten a cola jelly bean. It would taste like soda from my world. Soda? What is this soda? That would be hard for me to explain. It's basically a fizzy drink. It's something that I don't fully understand myself, Your Majesty. Ethan was still holding on to the jar of jelly beans, realizing that he was hogging it to himself as he held out the jar. My bad, young man. You used your shop to get this little treat for yourself, yet here I am seeming to be hogging it all to myself. It's okay, Your Majesty. It looks like there's enough jelly beans for us to share. Would you care to sit with me? I was actually thinking about summoning my familiar if you want to watch. Ethan sits down underneath the tree, taking another jelly bean out of the jar, and was baffled by its flavor, shaking his head trying to focus. I would be honored to see your familiar. Izuku gets up, making some distance from the tree he was sitting under, holding out the piece of paper and channeling a small amount of magic into it. The paper started to fizzle away as a giant array of magic shot up into the sky over the entire castle. What is happening? The magic array started to change colors rapidly between white, brown, red, blue, as a bright light started to crack through the array. A loud screeching could be heard from the sky for a second, as a spiritual image of a giant monster with 4 different heads appeared, causing everybody to freak out that they were being attacked, only for the monster then to fade away. As the smoke covered the entire area that Izuku and the king were hanging out in, the smoke started then to clear, showing a small elemental creature with 4 heads has appeared in front of Izuku. Being no bigger than a house cat, one of the heads seemed to be made out of storm clouds, while another one was made of water. There was one made of fire, and the last one being made of pure stone. It had a small body that seemed to be solid, made out of some kind of material that he didn't understand. As the small creature chirped at him, Ethan dropped the jar of jelly beans out of surprise, horror, or a mixture of the two as he stared at the baby creature. No way. It can't be. Izuku turned back to the king and was surprised seeing how horrified he was. Is something wrong, Your Majesty? Do you know this creature? Did I possibly do something wrong? You were able to summon an elemental cataclysm. It looks like it's just a baby. We didn't even know that creature could have babies. We thought they were just elemental disasters that appeared from time to time. So what do I do? Is it already my familiar, or do I have to do something? You technically have to get it to agree to be your familiar by making a contract with it. In a way, you have to have it accept you as its master. How am I supposed to do that? While the both of them were confused about the situation, the small cataclysm walked over to the grass where the jelly beans fell and started to sniff the ground. Smelling the different types of beans all over the place, it started to pick them up and put it into its many different mouths as it started to jump up and down in excitement and enjoy sweets. Izuku quickly got an idea as he checked his store, realizing that he still had a few points left in it. To buy something else, that's when he thought of something real quick. He bought a giant bag of cotton candy. As it appeared out of nowhere, he quickly made his way over to the creature, holding out a small bit of cotton candy to it. Hey there, little buddy. Do you want to go on adventures with me? In exchange, I will let you have a bunch of tasty snacks. The small cataclysm looked up at the fluffy substance being held out to it. As it sniffed it, all four heads licked it from different areas. As it started to chirp with joy, nibbling away at the cotton candy, that's when Izuku got a notification saying familiar contract fulfilled. Please give familiar a name. Looking down at the small creature enjoying the cotton candy like a child, it made him think of one name only. I'll call you Ace. But that's where I'm gonna leave it off this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this trailer. It was kind of a headache for me, and it was an intense project that took a lot of help from my friends. So if you're going to want to see more, you're gonna have to wait till I finish some of my main series to start up a new roster. But with all that said, I'm out. Peace.